What made a guy that's not an entrepreneur an entrepreneur? It was my wife was the tipping point for me, actually, because I became a whole animal eater, and I had been that way for years, well before I even met my wife. But we were getting ready to build a family. And so this might sound weird to a lot of people, but eating organ meats is a non-negotiable for me when it came to building a family. So my wife had to eat organ meats, but there's no way that I could cook them that she would eat them, because they're very potent. And, I'm not the greatest chef. I'll admit that. So every which way I tried to cook it for her to eat it, she could not stand it. She does not like the smell, the taste, the texture, any of this stuff. So I started encapsulating it. She took it and she's like, this is a home run. I can have it like this all day long. Beautiful, amazing. So 2 kids later, 2 healthy kids later, we're 2 thumbs up. So, but what ended up happening is she had it like that. And you know what? Every client that I had for my nutrition business, I also failed to get them to eat whole animals. So they were relying on, plant-based multivitamins, synthetics, things like that to pick up the slack that was going on in their diet. And what ended up happening is I shared it with them, and I could not believe the results that came back. I had energy. I had energy. So I had 2 carnivores. I had somebody that was doing keto, somebody that was doing paleo. So people that were quite dialed in on their nutrition, they moved well as well. They were hitting the gym. They weren't stagnant. These were relatively, considering, super healthy people that I was working with that saw amazing results with their energy. I had a gentleman that is on hormone replacement therapy. So he's on testosterone, and he saw his testosterone levels go up, and he does blood panels every month. And his physician, who is his dear friend, that's why he's doing this every month, because it's on the house, right? And he likes to work with that stuff and pay attention. Said, "What are you taking? Because I want to start this as well." So that's how that kind of went. I had my friend Tony started sleeping, crazy insomnia, but turns out the riboflavin B2 is amazing for helping insomnia. So it helping folks that can't sleep well. They're starting to get this vitamin, the building blocks, so that they can actually secrete proper melatonin to go to sleep, right? I had a few female clients that reported better hormone balance, one of which was in flat out in menopause, that saw a shift in hot flashes because her hormones were starting to balance out a little bit better, right? Because the building blocks were being provided for proper hormone production and to allow that balance to occur. So just, it became obvious to me, wow, there's maybe a better way that I can provide value to more people if my immediate clients are seeing these improvements. So I decided that there we go, let's make a business of this. So, and then for your listeners, that business started just over 4.5 years ago in Canada. And now I don't know if your listeners are up to date on what's going on in Canada, but there's a huge crunch down right now on businesses in general, but especially those that are in the health and food space. They're cracking down on natural health products. Essentially, long story short, if you're not a pharmaceutical company, they don't really want you operating in Canada. That's the gist of it. Okay. So 3-4 months into business there, I had Health Canada reaching out via email, phone call, and mail, sending me cease and desist letters and threatening phone calls to shut down.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
So what had happened, though, is unfortunately for them, fortunately for me, from a business standpoint, and I think maybe this adds value to your listeners, to a bootstrapping startup business, is I already told my wife that I threw in my last penny into my business. I was all in. Essentially, I'd burned the ships, right? I was all in. There was no turning back. So Health Canada had to come after me, and they had to take my equipment away for me to stop, because I was not stopping. I was all in. And essentially, I ended up calling their bluff. I ignored the cease and desist letters. I answered the phone calls. So, no, not shutting down, not doing this. I'm following these protocols from the CFIA. I started working on the NPNs that I needed to be legal, I guess, under the Health Canada standard that I didn't even fit under. I fit under the Canadian health food industry properly. So I started doing the background work legally from their standpoint, which I didn't even fit. And eventually they just had to let it go. They had to stop. And I'm now fully legal in Canada. I have the NPNs. I've paid big money for that. I've got the site licensed facility to do healthy food in there. I built that all myself out of Leduc, Alberta is where that is. And so the other great phone call that I got though at month 3 was I got emails from Americans reaching out. Americans wanted, at the very least, a North American option for their meat, for their organ meat. And all I had for competitors was people and Americans that were supporting overseas farmers for their product out of New Zealand, Argentina, Australia, but nobody was supporting American regenerative farmers with grass-fed, grass-finished programs, which is all I do, is regenerative, grass-fed, grass-finished. So the purest, greatest product that you can. No interventions with big pharma or big ag. So no pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, like nothing that belongs on the land or in the animals, just real food for them. And so I started getting emails from them, and that's where I made the decision to go to the US. So I moved to Columbia Falls, Montana, which is 9 hours south of where my warehouse is in Canada. And I started making the connections with American regenerative farmers out here. Incredible people, incredible farming practices. And it's a shame that the American government isn't recognizing the American farmers like they should be, instead of second-class farmers, and that overseas farmers can do it better, which is absolutely a scam. It's false. These guys are incredible. So we work directly with them. Currently, all of our farms are based out of Montana, so it's amazing. You know, I'm able to go walk the land, see their farming philosophy at hand, and we get the organ meats directly from them, and it's all done in-house. As a result of my food trust issues, I don't trust anybody to make a product that is to our standards. So it's all made in-house. It's handmade, no fillers, no flow agents, just 100% pure organ meats inside our capsules. The capsules themselves are 100% bovine collagen, so just real food. So that was it. That was the start to my business and where it took off. It took off from just seeing that there was tremendous value in getting real food back into people's diets. Because what we have for a food supply right now is a very nutritionally deficient food supply. So even the customers that I had that I thought were top notch, eating pretty solid carnivore, keto, paleo diets, dialed in, exercising, moving well, sleeping reasonably well, I thought they had it all dialed in. Yet what we discovered is that they had nutritional deficiencies, and that was made clear when they introduced a very nutritionally dense food back into their diet. So I recognized that gap, that nutritional gap, and that became my new job. I had to get this back into people's diets so that they could see these improvements in their lives, which were greater improvements than I was making individually one-on-one with my clients. And that's it in a nutshell. We have a very nutritionally depleted, deficient society, and many people have no idea how deficient they are because of our food supply. So unless you are hunting, sourcing your own food from regenerative farmers, and you're growing your own garden, or you're sourcing from somebody that is from actual soil that is rich and not depleted from monocrop agriculture, so big ag, things are going to change when you include nutrient dense foods. And here's one of our two large categories that we now have as customers are the low iron anemic, and we're able to get people off of a 150 milligram capsule for synthetic iron that comes with side effects, gut aches, gastrointestinal issues across the board. Get them off of 150 milligrams synthetic and onto 2.2 milligrams of heme iron that's found in our beef liver. That's it. That's the difference between real food and fake food, right? And then the other one is that I'm super pumped and proud about is that we're elevating fertility levels in human beings. So we're able to get people pregnant again, people that have even tried IVF and failed after years of trying to have a baby. They're getting pregnant after 60, 90 days hopping on nutrient-dense organoids, right? Fertility's going up, testosterone's going up, all hormone balance across the board is happening when people actually provide the building blocks so that their body can manufacture this stuff again.
That's wonderful, man. One thing I've observed over here when it comes to FDA, they're kind of let's say if you have herbs or any type of anything involved healing the body, over here they'll say, hey, don't say you can cure anything. You can sell whatever you want to sell, but they'll say, hey, don't say it's a cure. And they say you'll be fine. Have a nice day. That's how it is over here. It's a play on words over here.
That's right. It's be mindful of what claims